Your blog homepage is your first impression. Your first impression is everything. Is your blog's homepage everything it should be? Hello world, it's your boy Mike Ploger back again with your favorite design tool, Visme, and today we're talking blogs, specifically a blog's homepage. So often bloggers don't carefully plan and design their homepage. So even if they're getting a visitor or two, those visitors aren't returning after checking out that one post. A well thought out homepage can change that. It can reassure visitors what your blog is about while also turning leads into regulars. The key isn't to feature your business solution, but rather to answer your visitors' question of what's in it for me. Throughout this video, we're going to outline 11 steps you can take right now to turn your blog page into a reader-generating machine. Shall we? While we're fresh on the what's in it for me question, do you even know who the me is? Who's your audience? What do they do? Where do they live and work? What are their interests and income levels? How about their motivations, fears, and values? Do some research into your audience to fully understand them and use a template like this one to create a persona for them. This may take some time to nail down, but once you understand who your audience is, the rest is much easier. The second step is to nail down the type of content you'll be publishing. Will you be doing video reviews, listed rankings, instructional DIY posts? Whatever you decide, don't veer too far from that content type. It's good to mix it up, but make sure you maintain your brand. And again, keep in mind that your blog's material shouldn't be about promoting yourself or your business. It should be about your audience. What can you do to help them? What service or value do you provide? That's why people go to blogs in the first place, to learn something and to seek value. Keep that in mind as you prepare your content. An effective headline will incorporate three things: your audience's pain points, the roadblocks causing the pains, and a tease of your solution. Take a look at our example here. There are 50,000 tools out there to create and monetize a website, but you only need a handful to crush it. Find the best here. You gather that the audience is made up of amateur website designers. The problem is that there's way too many tools for them, likely causing them time and trouble in picking one. But your solution is helping them pick out the very best. It's very important to point out your audience's roadblocks, as it'll set off a trigger in their mind when they read it. They'll think, yes, somebody finally understands my problem. They'll know you're providing value for them and they'll want to learn more. Your headline writing isn't quite done yet. A powerful subheadline will reinforce your audience has found the right blog for their needs. You'll want to elaborate a little more on the solution that you teased in your headline. To continue from our last example, a good subheadline would be, we eliminate your guesswork by recommending the best overall tool, the best budget tool, the best runner-up, and the best free tool in each category. Rather than offering the top 50 tools or some outlandish number that people will feel overwhelmed reading, this blog has condensed the search to focus on what the audience truly cares about. Break it down into categories rather than an overall list. Whether you think you're ready or not, it's time to move on to the design portion. First off, you shouldn't be concerned about picking a logo based on visual appeal alone. The most important factor in picking or illustrating a logo is that it should visually represent the removal of your audience's roadblocks. Don't worry about picking the most professional or sleek logo that you can find. It can be as simple as this, a light bulb, signifying a good idea or inspiration. It represents clarity and is recognizable by all. Have you ever been featured in a recognizable publication, say a major website, a newspaper, journal, maybe a magazine? If so, it's time for a little humble brag in your own blog. Note these publications that you've been featured on. It'll immediately add credibility to your site, reassuring visitors that you know what you're talking about. Now to this point, you've been focusing on what's in it for them. Now you gotta prove how your solution can help remove the roadblocks they're dealing with while still maintaining that original question. If your content could be answered with, "Who cares?" then you're off track. To help, try to convey this information from your audience's point of view rather than yours. Talk about what they'll experience if they follow your guidance, not what you've experienced in the past. Since you've now introduced your solution and outlined exactly how you're going to help your audience, you can now tease your other featured posts. If you promote these too soon, what'll happen? Your audience will be saying, "Who cares?" With your last solution section, you've built credibility for yourself. You've pulled in your audience and they trust you. This is where you lock them in with other articles of yours that could benefit them as well. At this stage of your blog, it's time to introduce the writer or writers behind the page. Providing a face and bio can again build that trust and credibility. When writing the bios though, don't come across as braggy. Nobody likes that. Keep your audience in mind and write to what's in it for them. This question should never leave your mind. And don't worry about a bio being too long. They can be eccentric stories so long as they're relevant to your audience. Short and sweet also works too. It is totally up to you. You've done everything you can to prove yourself, provide valuable insight and intrigue, and create a bond with your audience. If all this was to happen in person, you'd likely be exchanging business cards to reconnect. On the internet, that happens through lead magnets. It's best for these to come towards the end of your blog homepage. Why? Well, at a networking event, are you immediately going up to people and asking for their business cards? No. You're building a connection first and creating value for them beforehand. That's what you must do with your blog homepage and what we've outlined this far. You know who they are, their pain points, and the solution before providing an opt-in that'll allow them to give you their email address. You can even offer more value like sharing free information that would have been inaccessible if an email wasn't provided. Our final step is one to keep in mind throughout, but don't skimp on your designs. You want to look pro from the get-go. Even if you're a brand new blog and think you can work on your designs later, don't do that. This brand new blog of yours may be the first of its kind in providing valuable information that thousands could benefit from. But if people go to your site and think it's produced by a middle schooler before reading a line, you're likely doomed. Consider sites like, yes, you guessed it, Visme to help with your designing needs. Our design tools are built to help non-designers look like professionals. With templates, drag and drop elements, and full customization, you'd be amazed with what you can create right now. Check it out at visme.com. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all from me. And as I've said it a dozen times already, but please keep your audience in mind as you build your blog. What's in it for them? Continue to answer that question. And hey, something else you could benefit from is checking out and even subscribing to our channel. If you learned something here, I bet you'll learn even more by subscribing. Thank you all so much for watching. One final request, if you learned anything today, please drop a simple click on that like button down below. We'll catch you next time with Visme. I'm Mike Ploger, helping you make information beautiful.